Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for January 30th, 2014. And TNA posted a tweet about a YouTube video with some old CM Punk matches from when he was in TNA, the very, very short time he was in TNA. And the comments on this tweet are so depressing. People are like, oh, CM Punk is going to come to TNA? Are you people fucking crazy? You actually think that's going to happen? Are you out of your minds? Seriously. They can't even afford AJ Styles. You think they're going to bring in CM Punk? You think CM Punk would even want to go there? That's just ludicrous. And people were like, oh, Ring of Honor and TNA have a working agreement and CM Punk's coming home to TNA. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Unbelievable. Very depressing read. So anyways, on to the show. Starts off with Magnus, Spud, and EC3. Magnus is talking about how he got rid of Sting and they're thinning the herd. Joe and Angle come out and they tell Magnus that he's not thinning the herd, he's screwing the herd. It would be one thing if Sting lost the match, but they screwed him over. And Magnus says, well, we can have a tag match later, me and EC3 versus you two, and if we beat you guys, you're gone from TNA also. And Joe and Angle agree, but only if whoever beats Magnus becomes the new #1 contender. And Magnus agrees with that. But then Dixie Carter comes out and says, no, this can't happen. And Magnus says, I'll see you guys in the ring later. So he overrules Dixie here. We see the Wolves arrive at the arena. Then it's Velvet Sky and Madison Rayne versus Tamina and Gail Kim. Very short match. Velvet beats Gail Kim with a face buster. Then Sabin comes out. And Velvet Sky breaks up with him. That was pretty much it. Backstage, Angle and Joe attack Bobby Roode because they tell him he's not going to screw them like he screwed Sting and AJ. And Roode's like, what are you talking about? I wouldn't try to screw you guys at the same time. James Storm comes out and calls out Gunner. And they basically make up. They cut a very long promo. Actually, Gunner cut the long promo. He just went on and on and on. And then Storm was like, yeah, you know what, I was being jealous and greedy, so I'm sorry. And they shake hands, and I thought Storm was going to say, about your damn luck, and kick him in the face, but nope, they just make up. And Bad Influence comes out and says, hey, how about we have a match? If we beat you guys, we get Gunner's briefcase. One of us gets the case, and the match was okay. Gunner beats Kazarian with a flying headbutt, so Gunner and Storm win the match, and that was it. Gunner and Storm are back together, at least for now. Then they show a vignette for Samoa Joe, and it would be one thing if I thought TNA was actually going to start using Joe properly again, but I have no faith in that happening, so this was weird. Bobby Roode goes to see Dixie Carter, and he tells her he wants what she promised him, a title shot at Lockdown. And she says, I can't deal with this right now. And he says that she has a week to make a decision, and he's not doing any more favors for her until he gets what he wants. Backstage, ODB tells Eric Young to be careful teaming with Abyss. Then Rockstar Spud comes out, and he calls out the Wolves. And they've done a pretty good job with the presentation of the Wolves so far. And they come out, Spud tries to intimidate them to find out who the investor is. He slaps Davey Richards, the Wolves alarm clock him, and they say that the investor will be revealed tonight, and he's very interested in the tag match, and if anyone interferes, they will be fired. Abyss and Eric Young face the Bromans. Match was... I didn't like it. I didn't think it was very good. And Zema Ion gets on the top rope, and Abyss grabs him, and the ref starts counting. Zema Ion's not even in the match. Why would you be counting? So Abyss grabs the referee. He hits shock treatment on him. Eric Young is like, Abyss, what are you doing? And Abyss chokeslams Eric Young. And like I said before weeks ago, why would Eric Young want Abyss to come back? Joseph Park is a nice guy. Abyss just destroys people. It doesn't make any sense. So then Eric Young challenges Abyss to a Monsters Ball match next week. Which reminds me, backstage, Abyss had a bag of thumbtacks. Where were those? They show a video from earlier this week of Samuel Shaw and Christy Hemme having wine at his house. And everything's going great, and he tells Christy Hemme to go get some more wine, and then we see he has a shrine devoted to her, which is weird because he's already got the girl. But This was earlier this week. Didn't she get creeped out when he was staring her down a few weeks ago? And didn't she see the footage of him attacking Simon Diamond and screaming, "Don't you ever mention her name"? And she's still going on dates with this guy? Plus, there was no consequence for attacking a road agent. Bully Ray comes out with a coffin, and he says he wants to face Anderson in a coffin match. So Anderson comes out, and he says, "Well, let's say you put me in the coffin, then what are you going to do?" And Bully Ray says, "I'll pile drive your wife and kids." And Anderson tells him to quit running his jibs, and Bully Ray ducks down, and I was like, why is he standing that way? But then Anderson throws the coffin lid in his face, so Bully Ray had to duck so the lid would hit him in the head, and you gotta do what you gotta do, man. So then Anderson attacks Bully, and Bully runs off. Then we get a hype video for Kurt Angle, and then backstage EC3 and Magnus are talking, and they're butting heads, so they're teasing a future feud between these two, kind of like The Shield and WWE. The main event is Kurt Angle and Joe versus Magnus and EC3, and I thought this was good. Joe taps out Magnus for the win, so Joe is the new #1 contender. Dixie Carter comes out, she's upset about this, and Kurt Angle says that now he's ready to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. And Dixie Carter is even more pissed off, and she demands to find out who the new investor is. And the investor comes out, and it's MVP. MVP is the rich investor. Where did he make all this money? I don't know. I thought it was kind of lame. Not that I don't want to see MVP back wrestling on television, but why make him an investor? It's kind of stupid. But anyways, this show I thought was a little above average. I thought the crowd was great, which created a great atmosphere. There was a lack of Taz on this show, but it was still just a little above average for me. So that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye.